Welcome to Real Ghost Stories. The story I want to present today is about a ghost woman who tried to live with her husband in her previous life as a ghost woman in this life. More than 60 years ago, people in Malaysia cleared trees from the forest to expand their agricultural land and made plantations. They used to build guard huts in the fields, and Luca and Gina, who lived in Disa village, were among them. Luca and Gina built a house in the village of Disa to live with their 5 children, as the land was no longer good for famine due to drought. In a place not far from Luca's house, there were 4 or 5 families who had moved into the forest like them, and they all decided to plant a lot of crops after one summer. Thus, one day, Luca called his 2 sons, and they left the house to clear a plot of land in the forest. A dog named Jackie that had bred in their house also followed them, and they reached the plot at sunrise. After that, Luca and his 2 sons were clearing the brambles and wild grass in the forest. They also planned to cut down large trees to use in the necessary places in their house. Thus, when the sun arrived at noon, they ate lunch under a large shade tree and prepared to take a nap. After eating, Luca and his 2 sons took a place under 3 large shady trees to rest for a while. Luca's older son, James, was sleeping peacefully under a large rubber tree not far from his father and younger brother. As James slept, he was startled awake by the sound of Jackie following behind them. As he looked around, he saw Jackie barking at the top of the tree where he was sleeping. James also thought the dog might be barking at a snake, so when he looked at the tree, there was nothing. "Hey Jackie, there's nothing on the tree, don't you bark," James said. Jackie pretended not to know what James was saying. He looked up at the tree and barked continuously. James couldn't sleep anymore, so he got up from where he was sleeping to walk. That night, while James was sleeping in his house, he had a strange dream. In his dream, he was lying under a rubber tree at noon, and he saw a beautiful woman crouching beside him, looking at him. The next morning, James' mother, Gina, saw her son James sitting alone in front of the house, staring. So she felt something strange in her mind. "Hey, my son, why have you been sitting here for so long since morning? Are you sick?" "I'm fine, Mom. I'm just a little tired." "Then go inside the house and rest." "Then go inside the house and rest, my son. Don't go with your father into the forest today." "Mom, it's okay. There's only my father and younger brother in the forest. I'll go with them." Like yesterday, Luca and his 2 sons went out into the forest to clear the land. However, today Luca was clearly not doing any work, and he noticed his son James wandering around under the rubber tree. So he thought something was going on in his son's mind. Just as Luca thought, he saw James sitting under the rubber tree and talking to himself alone after taking a break from eating lunch. Luca and Gina were very worried because of James, who had gradually changed his demeanor for several days. James didn't even eat and spent the whole day in his room, and he didn't talk to anyone. He sat under a rubber tree in the forest every day and did not help Luca with any work. Luca also became suspicious in his mind and went to a sorcerer named Susa in the village and told him all about the events of his son James. Well, if you say so, it's very strange that James suddenly changed, Luca. Yes, I'm also very worried about James. Okay, I'll help you as much as I can. I believe you because you're a sorcerer, Susa. If possible, you follow me under the rubber tree where James sits every day. The next morning, Luca and the sorcerer Susa went out to the rubber tree in the forest. Meanwhile, Gina stayed at home and tried to prevent her son James from leaving the house. When Luca and the sorcerer Susa got under the rubber tree, Susa recited an incantation, and in a moment, a strong wind blew. Then, at the base of the big tree, a ghost woman who was barely covered with leaves appeared suddenly.
What are you doing here?
Hey girl, my name is Susan. Who are you? My name is Lila. Hey Lila, I don't want to know anything. Why are you bothering Lucas St. James? He was my husband in previous life. What does it have to do with you living with my husband? If you two don't want to get into trouble, get out of my territory right now. At the end of Lila's speech, a strong wind blew, and the branches of the rubber tree fell one by one in front of Luca and Susan, causing them to run away in fear. After they arrived safely at the edge of the forest, the sorcerer Susan told Luca to hurry back home and prepare what he had to prepare for the incitations. Luca hurried back to the house and tied the ropes that had been recited by the sorcerer Susan to the fences around the house. Luca's family didn't go anywhere all day and were carefully observing James' behavior. It was early in the night, and they saw that James' face was angry about something. Arriving late that night, they heard Jackie howling loudly below their house. When Luca opened the window and looked down at the house, he was horrified by what he saw. Luca saw the ghost woman Lila, and the ghost woman was standing angrily outside the house, unable to enter the house due to the incantation ropes tied around the side of the house. She was staring at Luca with red eyes. At that moment, James left the house without Luca knowing, and he ran away into the forest. Then the ghost Lila, who was standing outside the house, gradually disappeared in front of Luca's eyes. Luca and Gina were also so worried about their son James that they ran into the forest that night. When they got under the rubber tree, they saw James' dead body, so Gina cried uncontrollably. After James' body was cremated, Luca's family leased their land they had cleared to others, and they returned to Desert. This video is a true story of a family from Desert Village, so I recreated it for everyone to know. I believe that my audience will also enjoy watching this short story. I will always present more interesting true stories in the upcoming videos. If you want to watch stories like this in real time, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the notification bell. Thank you all for watching till the end.